So yeah, Andy, Phrogging.
Phrogging. So that is spelt with a PH, not an F, and definitely not a D.
Yeah, PH like fat.
Fat. Fat like early 2000s fat. Like
Yeah, that's what
I've got
I was
like
hoping you would get
dude,
the reference.
those are some fat baggy jeans you've got there. Do an
Yes,
ollie, do a
that's the
kickflip,
one.
that kind of fat. Yeah, yeah, I know, I know. I was there. I was there when the old words were made.
All right. Um,
So yeah, Phrogging.
well, before we get to Phrogging, my weird news this week is from NPR.
Okay.
And I think if you're aware of Phrogging, this will make sense. If you're not, you'll be like, what the fuck? But so the headline, it's a couple of months old, I'll be honest, but it's a good story. Authorities say a babysitter checked under the bed for monsters and found someone.
Oh, oh, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
So yeah, the myth of a bogeyman hiding under the bed came true for one Kansas family this week after a child's complaint led to a man's arrest. The Barton County Sheriff's Office said in a statement that it responded to reports of a disturbance at a house outside the city of Great Bend on Monday. The unnamed babysitter told authorities that she was getting the kids ready for bed when one complained about a monster, it is in quotations, under the bed. Her efforts to reassure them otherwise didn't go quite as planned. And then this is all in quotations. When the victim attempted to show the child there was nothing under the bed, she came face to face with a male suspect who was hiding there. The sheriff's office statement said an altercation ensued where the babysitter and one child were knocked over in the struggle. The suspect, a 27-year-old man who once lived at the residence, the statement says, but who was under a protection from abuse order that required him to stay away from the property. It says NPR is not publishing his name because whether he has been charged in connection with this incident is unclear. Online court records cited by CNN show he posted bond about 10 days earlier after being charged with criminal threat, domestic battery, and violating a protection from abuse order related to incidents in January and February. NPR have reached out to the sheriff's office for more information. The statement says the suspect fled the scene before deputies arrived on Monday night, but was spotted in the area and after a short foot pursuit, taken into custody the next morning. He was arrested on charges of aggravated kidnapping, aggravated burglary, aggravated battery, child endangerment, felony obstruction of a law enforcement officer, and violation of a protection from abuse order. According to a statement, the man is being held in county jail in lieu of $500,000 bond. It's not clear whether he has retained a lawyer. It then goes on to some other cases, which is where I was connecting to
Yeah,
Phrogging. Andy, have you heard of
Phrogging.
Phrogging? Do you
I've
want to
heard of
sleep tonight?
I've heard of Phrogging. Yeah, I've mentioned it before, I think, on an episode, but when it's come up, but my partner Becky is that's like one of her biggest fears. I could explain what it is if you like, but
Well, it's up to you. I found a website called crimeandinvestigation.co.uk that has a good summary and a few kind of real life examples that I could go into.
go on then, go for it.
Um, it's quite a long article, so I'll just kind of, I guess, do
Yeah,
the
give
cliff
us the
notes.
best of.
Yeah, so it says, what is frogging? Quite simply, frogging is the act of living in someone's home without the owners or occupants knowing. The word derives from frog, funny that, because perpetrators often move from residence to residence like frogs jumping between lily pads.
Boy.
I actually didn't know that, and I'm kind of now, is this an April Fool's? No, we did that. um, yeah, it goes on to say, is it an urban myth? It may seem unlikely or impossible. The idea of someone living in your home without you realizing may sound a bit far-fetched. However, while undeniably rare, frogging is very much a thing, with numerous confirmed cases of people nesting in attics, cellars, garages, and other nooks and crannies. Kind of makes me think of the Hinterkaifeck murders as well, right? That was a similar,
Yeah.
which we covered way, way, way back, maybe early
Ugh.
last year.
Yes, yeah, it was one of our first really
Dark
nasty ones,
ones.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So this says the Frogger Code. It's been reported that more virtuous. Is that a word? That's what it says. Virtuous. There you
Virtuous,
go.
virtuous. I love that. That's like so fucking. That's so Matt Berry coded. I am a virtuous man.
Virtuous. Yeah, there you go. Told you guys. God, I spoke Welsh earlier. Did you notice? I didn't even bring it up.
Really, really. Oh, you'll have to
Yeah.
tell us about it
I- I-
sometime.
so yes, it's been reported that more virtuous froggers, virtuous Andy, that's what that says, stick to
Virtuous.
a code designed to ensure they can coexist in a peaceful, non-threatening way with the legal occupant of a property. The code states that froggers must make every effort not to be detected. They must clean up after themselves and they must take only what they need, such as food and toiletries. Respect the property and leave it in the same condition as when they first encountered it. But yeah, there's a few cases. I don't know. I'll just read a couple of them, I guess. So there's the intruder who wants to play doctor. That's the title.
That already sounds like the premise for a horror film.
Okay, a particularly disturbing case of frogging came to light in 2019 when a Honolulu couple, James and Brittany Campbell, returned home from holiday to find a complete stranger standing at their front door. The man, Ezekiel Zayas, was wearing James's clothes and had left the house in total disarray. What's more, knives had been laid out on the couple's bed, almost as if the sinister stranger was intended to perform surgery. It turned out that the Zayas had been living in the house for quite some time. The couple had experienced unexplained occurrences such as doors being left open and a webcam turning itself on, all of which turned out to be Zaya's doing. He'd even used the couple's laptop to write a bizarre journal and manifesto on rehabilitation for rat like people, with notes on sexual reconstruction, among other grisly images. As Brittany Campbell told a newspaper, he wanted to play doctor on us, and not in the cute little kid way.
Sorry. Oh my God. Well, he wasn't following the code, was he?
I don't think so. And then you've got the Frogger who made a Christmas list. In December 2008, an unexpected visitor was discovered in the Pennsylvania home of Stacy Ferentz. Living in the property's attic, he was 21-year-old Stanley Carter, who'd been making himself at home for at least a week. Not content with eating their food and wearing their clothes, Carter had flagrantly broken the code by stealing money, a computer, and an iPod. The family had heard occasional noises over that period, but had put them down to their pet cat skulking about in the night. When Carter was finally discovered, he was wearing Stacy's daughter's sweatshirt and trousers. Helpfully, he'd also jotted down everything he'd stolen from the family under the heading Stanley's Christmas list.
God.
Understandably, the incident left the family a little rattled, and Stacey Ferrance told the media, "Every noise that we do hear, we definitely jump up and investigate what's going on."
I've got a new
Um,
film idea.
there's
I want to
a
do it.
there's a oh, there's two more. I'll do the two more before.
I was just going to say I want to do a comedy about frogging.
Okay,
I
we'll
think
come
that
back
I
to
think
that.
that'd be good. Carry on.
So okay, so then there's the. I'm just checking this isn't the one we just mentioned. No, it's not. Okay. So this is the Killer in the Walls, which is very similar to Hitchcock Effect, I guess, but
Mm.
I haven't read the details. So perhaps the most horrifying example of a frogger who followed no code of conduct, sorry, and was driven by his own sadistic urges is Daniel LaPlante. Born and raised in Massachusetts, he had a troubled childhood blighted by sexual and psychological abuse. By his teens, he was breaking into local houses and in 1986 became fixated on the home of a man and his young daughters. LaPlante managed to gain entry to the Bowens property, hiding in crawl space and other nooks around the home. For months, he took ghoulish relish in playing mind games with the terrified occupants, tapping on the walls, moving things around, and scrawling messages like, "I'm in your room, come and find me." Fuck me, that's dark.
That's horrific.
When LaPlante was finally caught, the family breathed a sigh they've been. On being released from juvenile detention the following year, LaPlante's impulses took him from malevolent frogging to multiple murders. Breaking into the home of the Gustafsson family, he raped and murdered Priscilla Gustafsson before drowning her two young children, Abigail and William. Daniel LaPlante remains behind bars to this day, and as a cautionary tale on how frogging can pave the way for more atrocious acts. That was a dark one.
Fuck
Fuck.
me, man. That's
Okay, we'll try and end on a lighter one because the title of this one is The Poltergeist in the Attic. A spooky Frogger story came to light in September 2012 when a woman from Rock Hill, South Carolina reported how ghostly goings on in her home were revealed to be the result of a disturbing corporeal presence. The mother of five, identified only as Tracy in the media, realized something was afoot when she heard a thump from the attic just before nails popped out of the ceiling over my bed. First thought was that some poltergeist stuff, that was a quote, was underway. The truth was that her ex-boyfriend was secretly living in the attic, spying on her through an air vent in the bedroom. He'd been up there for 2 weeks, sleeping in a heating unit and storing his waste in plastic cups so he wouldn't even have to come down to use the loo. Having been discovered by Tracy's family, he nonchalantly came down from the attic without any explanation and left with a smile before the police could arrive. That sounds like he's still at large.
yeah, that's it. Coming to a crawl space near you.
Wow.
Okay, maybe I don't
Um,
want to do a comedy about frogging anymore.
oh, there is one more. I didn't realize because there's an ad in the middle. So there's the woman in the closet. So in May 2008, it was reported that a man in Japan, I'm glad it's somewhere else because they've all been America.
Yeah.
So a man in Japan discovered a woman living in his closet, and she'd been there for over a year. The unnamed man had started to get suspicious when food was mysteriously vanishing from his kitchen and installed security cameras to see what was going on. The footage revealed a figure moving about the residence while he was out. He naturally assumed it was a burglar and called the police, but they arrived to find all windows and exterior doors locked. On searching the house, they found the intruder curled up on the top shelf of a closet.
Top shelf.
Wow.
Been tiny.
I shouldn't laugh. Lacking a place to live, the woman had snuck into the house 1 year previously and stayed ever since, managing the uncanny feat of cohabiting with the owner undetected before police finally arrested her for trespass. So the rest of the article is how to tell if someone is frogging, how to prevent frogging. Um, oh wait, what's that?
If I live in quite not a small flat, but a fairly small flat, so like I'd be really impressed if someone was frogging in here. I mean, that'd take some like Houdini level shit, you know.
You did have that guy in the bush that was watching you that time. I
That
don't know
is
if you want to
true.
say that publicly,
That
but
is true. No, it's all good. It's
is he still
slightly,
there?
one day, slightly compromising, intimate goings on, and yeah, then about 15 minutes later, just see this shape get out of the bush, like, and walk back onto the street from like opposite. There's a car park between my window and the bushes. I just see this like human shaped figure just walk out of it, and I'm like, how long has he been there?
What I want to insert there is the Reese Darby clip again. Is it a bush or a man? No, it's definitely a man, Andy. Um,
That's
yeah,
your
apparently, so I
fifth
didn't
Reese
realize. So the
Darby.
whole,
That's your like fifth Reese Darby reference. This
no, I'm going to cut the rest of them out, and then this is going to make you look mad because I'm like, what do
I
you mean? I've
rest
never mentioned
assured. I
Reese
rest
Darby.
assured. Yeah, rest assured he did.
Um, no, I just realized actually. So there is a series from this crime investigation website
Yeah.
on frogging Hydra in my house because the article ends with an episode guide list.
Okay.
It's a 10-part series. It actually doesn't tell you where to get them, but I guess if you want to look into that, then go to crimeinvestigation.co.uk.
I'll,
And
I'll just ask. I'll just ask the person in my attic.
that's where I am right now. I've set this all up inside your attic.
Identical version of Craig's studio in my attic.
It's in the kitchen, mate. Just turn around. Like when you get those secret doors and the whole library turns around. That's what this
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
You go, I'm just going to get a beer, and as you stand up, it's like
Scooby Doo led me to believe those things would be a lot more prevalent in like places. You know.
if you move that book on your shelf there, that's
Yeah, that's it. It just turns around. It's Craig in his studio.
I mean, that would be much easier because it takes forever for us to record in person.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, but it give the game away then.
Um, yes. Anyway, so that ends the Phrogging section of the podcast. Have you got anything else? I think you mentioned some more vampire stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always up for chatting vampires, although thinking on it, I do want to save some of it for the actual vampire episode that we plan on doing. So, yeah, I will say, this next bit is going to contain spoilers. Actually, I don't know because I want you to see the film, and I don't
I'm
want to
not
spoil it.
fussed about spoilers, to be honest. Like, I still
Fantastic.
watch
Okay.
stuff.
If you don't want any spoilers for the film Sinners, which I recommend you all go and see, um, skip over this bit. But yeah,
I
Sinners
guess this
is
is probably the rest of the episode. So if you don't want to hear about sinners, turn off now. There you go. Done.
yeah. Well, I haven't done a weird news yet, so
Oh, yeah. All right. Don't turn off now then. It's too
I'll
late. They've already gone.
there you go, they're gone. But yeah, Sinners. It's one of those films, a bit like Dusk Till Dawn, where you don't know it's going to be a vampire film until it's a vampire
Yeah.
film. And it is honestly one of the best honestly, one of the best films I've seen in a long, long time. It's really good. Um, it's
Did
set
you
in.
see Moana 2?
Is that a vampire film?
That's the
Shit, that
spoiler.
took that took a turn.
Turns out Maui was a vampire all along. That's
That's
why he
it.
lived so long.
Um,
I just
Daywalker,
meant no, but
obviously.
you said best film you've seen for
I
ages. So I'm
have
like,
not seen Moana 2. I've not
there
seen
you go.
Moana
See,
2. I don't have a kid that will be my excuse for going to see Moana 2, so you know.
I mean, it's on Disney Plus, so you don't need to go anywhere. But all
Oh,
right.
fair enough, fair enough. But yeah, I yeah, I went to see it. Becky's seen it like 3 times now.
Fuck me, it must be good.
It is good. It's the
Has she got
soundtrack's
nothing on?
phenomenal.
I haven't got time to watch the film 3 times. Jesus.
She works from home, man. She can like just go straight there after work and just yeah. Um, but yeah, so I plus yeah, her boyfriend keeps abandoning her to go to like weird pagan things and film a podcast.
Yeah, he does.
So it's set in the deep set like in the South in America in sort of the 1930s. The backdrop of it's like jazz and sort of blues. It's very musical. This film, like lots of the,
Yeah.
it's almost like its own character. The music of the film, and yeah, it's not just a fantastic film, but a really good vampire film. You know, and it hits all the marks of the vampire film, but it does it in quite a fresh way. As I said, I'm keeping this as spoiler free as possible because I don't want to completely spoil it. But
I know you've already ruined it for me. I'm not watching it.
but yeah, there's one of the chaps in it who plays the sort of the main antagonist. He's this sort of English Irish actor that also is a musician. So you've got like the sort of it's a predominantly sort of African American cast, sort of in this this is in the era of Jim Crow laws and things like that. So they've got their own sort of not speakeasy, but sort of like you know, sort of legal-ish kind of drinking hole and sort of music venue that they're opening. It's their opening night, and it gets attacked, and it's just yeah, it's just really good, and the use of music in it, and the lore behind it as well, because it's not just vampires. It talks about like different cultures having musicians that were so talented and so in tune with music itself, it could like cross the boundary to the other world, and then how sometimes that could be used for healing, but sometimes other things get through. But yeah, it sort of ties in a lot of like African sort of dysphoria as well, and in terms of music and culture. And it's just yeah, it's Ryan Coogler did it, and he's one of these directors that just seems to come out of nowhere and just fucking like aced it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so
Hmm.
it's a really good film. Like the soundtrack is phenomenal. Definitely go and see it.
There goes the Andy film recommendation section of. I nearly said, "Will I like it then?" Wyrd Wessex.
Well, if
It's
you're
because
insisting.
well, I've got a double bill. I got to record after this.
Right, do you want me to do some weird news real quick then?
Yeah, we've got time. Do your weird news. It's all good.
Oh, God. There
Yeah.
is a lot of discourse at the moment, and if this goes out anytime soon, hopefully there still will be. It is discussing one of the most important, I think, one of the most important questions of our age, really. You might have been clued into this. What would win? A gorilla, a silverback gorilla, or 100 men?
It's got to be 100 men, surely, based on
Well,
numbers alone.
between random YouTubers, Dream, Chaz, and Mike, and then Mr. Beast joining the conversation, it's sort of blown up on the internet. And people are saying we need volunteers, and apparently Elon Musk has volunteered to be involved in the fight. So I'm hoping he's one of the first. So yeah, to bravely lead us, obviously. But yeah, so there's a lot of discourse about this, and there's been a lot of back and forth over, like, sort of a gorilla wouldn't need to fight 100 people. It would like rip apart like three or four, and by human nature, everyone would go, fuck, and run away. Other people are saying,
Presuming the men are unarmed, yeah?
yeah, it's a fist fight. It's a fist fight. So an expert has finally waded in, and I've got this through Lad Bible. Um,
Oh dear.
because it actually covers a lot of stuff that is behind paywalls and sort of condenses it. So, like, there's been like Daily Mail stuff that I haven't wanted to either pay or give
Yeah.
the traffic to, for example.
I thought you liked them.
So, a wildlife biologist, Caleb from Texas, has joined the conversation, offering us some expert insights into the theoretical, unless Mr. Beast has his way, of course, and does a real fight, the theoretical fight.
I
Talking
don't
about,
think they'll ever get away with doing a real fight. I
I
don't think
don't think
anyone
they
will let
will.
it happen. No. I don't think they
Um,
should either. The men will die. It's
what
not fair on the men.
you're scared? You're scared.
I'm not taking part.
Is it something like 20% of men think they could take a lion in a fist fight when asked? They genuinely like, oh yeah, I'd see red. It's like, no, you'd see lots of red, probably coming from you. Um, But anyway, he says on average, a male silverback weighs in about 300 or 400 pounds. The largest being about 600 pounds. Is massive, and it's probably about 4 or 5 times stronger than the average man who works out. So we're definitely taking casualties, but it isn't enough to just rip apart every man. He added that he reckoned it would take 30 to 40 men to defeat the average silverback gorilla. And in the natural world, a gorilla would flee from such a large group of aggressors anyway, rather than get stuck into a fight with them that they probably couldn't win. He also flagged the gorilla would tire quicker than its 100 opponents, not because it's outnumbered though, but because evolutionary speaking, humans have maxed out our cardio endurance to strength sort of ratio. So in nature, you either tend to be really strong and powerful or quite good at running. Because that benefits the things that fight and the things that hunt or run away from hunters. But we developed is why we got so successful in the first place. Before we were hunting with spears, we were just chasing after things and we were endurance hunters.
So are we talking one man at a time or 100
No,
men in
no,
one?
I think this is 100 men at once.
Hmm.
So if you happen to be on the human side, if such a scenario were to occur, he recommends focusing on the face, neck, internal organs, or groin, and rupturing a vital artery, which I don't know how you do with your hands on a gorilla. Of course, it wouldn't be 2025 unless someone had posted questions to Chat GPT. Here's what AI had to say at the matter. Think of it more like a mob trying to bring down a rampaging tank with their bare hands. As it stands, the theory is that 100 men could indeed take on a silverback gorilla. But the biggest threat to humans would be themselves. It's almost certain there would be human fatalities and serious injuries, which many believe would cause most of the humans to flee in fear. And then the person who wrote the article says, while I did take my journalistic work extremely seriously and asked my editor for a gorilla, to be thorough with my research, they said no. So in the meantime, here's a simulation of what the fight might look like. And the link is broken, which is probably good for our timing. But yes, basically, as far as I know, I've seen the video. The link is just the gorilla like picking up two people and throwing them into the other people, and then all getting knocked down, which also wouldn't work. So, but yeah, so experts have actually started started wading in on these crucial matters now. Not quite news because that's more of a collation of sort of Twitter and Reddit discourse, but the fact that it's making it onto pages and people are talking about it so much, I find it quite fascinating.
Yeah.
My last question for you before we sign off:
Hmm.
What would win in a fight, a silverback gorilla or a polar bear?
Land or water?
On land. On land.
I don't know why I said
Ne-
that. That's a classic.
Neutral.
It's like shark versus a
In
bear. Like,
in space, make it fair.
no, I don't know.
Zero G. See, my money's on the polar bear. My one of my best mates, Ben, insists that it's the gorilla. We've been having this argument for years now.
And what does ChatGPT tell you?
I haven't asked actually.
Go on then.
I'm going to ask
Let's get
Bard.
let's get the answer once and for all that we've all been waiting for. Whilst we're waiting, Andy, I'm
Yeah.
assuming you saw the May the 4th post by the White House
Which one was that? I don't think I did actually. Oh my God,
of
what have I missed?
Donald Trump dressed as a really muscular
Ugh!
with I'm trying to be careful with my wording here. So he's got a lightsaber. Look it up.
Yeah, well, the latest one is him as Pope.
No, no, this is after that.
Ha! AI overview. This is from Google's AI. A polar bear would likely win against a silverback gorilla in a fight. Polar bears are significantly larger and heavier than gorillas, and they possess powerful claws and teeth, making them capable of inflicting serious damage. While silverback gorillas are incredibly strong and have powerful bite, their size and strength don't compare to those of a polar bear. Ha!
Well, but if the gorilla's really tactical and runs away and waits long enough, the polar bears will be extinct.
Playing the long, very the long game that makes David Attenborough cry.
As you may know as well, Andy, the polar bear originally comes from England,
It
as a
does.
past guest once told us.
Indeed, indeed. So, we're supporting
That's
the
a
home team.
Mark Ryan
I know.
reference there. Yes, quickly, Google the White House, Donald Trump, May the 4th. And don't read the comments. I want to talk to you about it without you reading the comments.
All right, 1 second.
Because I know what the comments already say. You can read the caption of the picture.
Okay.
I may or may not keep this in. This is just a point to bring up to you.
Oh,
So
happy
read the
May the
caption.
4th to all, including the radical left lunatics. Do you
Donald
want me
back on the show?
to... Do you want me to read it out?
Go on.
Happy May the... I'm not going to do the accent, or I might.
You
Happy
already
May the
are.
4th to all, including the radical left lunatics who are fighting so hard to bring us Sith Lords, murderers, drug lords, dangerous prisoners. There's some weird capital letters in here where they don't need to be. And well-known MS-13 gang members back into our galaxy. You're not the rebellion, you're the Empire. May the 4th be with you. And it's Jesus Christ.
Right. So what's the problem with the image?
He's got a red lightsaber.
Yeah.
He's the
And
Sith.
I don't even watch Star Wars.
The fuck?
I reckon that he's got AI to create that image.
And
I mean, this
AI's
fucking
decided he's a...
bulky. And AI's made him the bad guy. Shouldn't laugh, but
Only a
funny.
Sith deals in absolutes, Craig. It's true. It's true. They all say that.
And if Donald wants to come on the show to defend himself, he can fuck off.
Oh,
On that note,
Wyrd Wessex becomes a prescribed terrorist organization in America.
oh, is that a bad thing? Probably not.
Creepy Craig Brooks, he calls you.
So yeah, on that note,
I've been Andy, mostly.
except for when you were Donald.
Except for when I was Donald.
And I've been Craig. Yeah, and until next time.
Don't blame the owls. And stay weird. Do that too.